winds. Winds are the movement of air that you can feel on your face when you're outside, or when you're out on a boat in the ocean, you can feel the wind. But what actually causes wind or causes this motion of the air? Well, what actually causes it is the sun. And the sun actually heats the Earth's atmosphere and the Earth itself unevenly. And as it heats that Earth unevenly, it creates these winds. So basically what you get is you get at the equator, most of the sun's heat is absorbed at the equator. And so what you get, here, let's draw a picture. You've got your Earth, okay, and then here's the equator, and then you've got your sun over here, and it's sending rays of energy over to the Earth. Most of that heat is going to be absorbed here at the equator. And when that heat gets absorbed, okay, it actually heats up the air in the atmosphere, and when that air gets heated, it becomes less dense and it rises above more dense things, which is the other air in the atmosphere. So when it gets heated up, this air at the equator that gets warmed up becomes more or less dense and rises up towards the surface of the atmosphere. So here's like the outer atmosphere, all right? And so it rises up, okay? When it gets up to the top, it spreads out, okay, in either direction, and it cools off, because as it rises away from the land out towards the outer atmosphere, it's cooler on the outer atmosphere, and it cools off. So as it moves along the outer atmosphere, it cools off, and eventually becomes more dense than the air that it's over. As it becomes more dense, it sinks back down, okay? And when it sinks back down, it drops down, and when it hits the surface of the Earth, it spreads out, okay, in either direction. And so what you get are these little things that we call convection currents that form the atmosphere. And you should have heard about convection currents earlier in this unit. So you get this rising of air, the movement of air laterally, and then the sinking of the air. And then, again, movement of the air laterally. So when that happens, these lateral movements of the air are the wind that you feel. Okay, so especially this one down here at the surface of the Earth, that's the one that you're going to feel. These upper atmospheric currents that form up here you're not going to be feel because they're up in the upper atmosphere. And if you've ever heard of the jet stream is an upper atmosphere wind that gets created by these convection currents. So the convection currents get formed in the atmosphere because of the uneven heating of the Earth by the sun, and then you get the convection currents that forms the wind. So this picture that you see here is an idealized view of the convection currents that get formed in the atmosphere. So you get the main ones that form here at the equator, right? So the red represents the warm and the blue represents the cool air. And so how the warm air rises and then sinks. And then the other place where you get a lot more energy that's absorbed than in other areas on Earth are around 30 degrees north and south. Around there, you get warmer air that gets warmed up by the sun, and then you get convection currents. So essentially what you get are 6 convection currents that form worldwide. And those are the winds that you feel.